So here's the thing, you know, sometimes it's a tough life being a developer. And one of the tough things is when you've got a show like X10, and then just a few weeks later, about 3 weeks later, you've got another show, GDC. And here we are in GDC. And what we're showing off this time is two big new things. One is the GUI. And, you know, the graphical user interface, that's what GUI stands for. Can there be anything more boring than that? You know, we normally ignore it. And, you know, the last thing you show is your GUI. And on Fable 1 and 2, our GUI was lists of things, list after list after list of clothes and weapons and level up things and ability spending stuff. And what we realized is that whilst a lot of our core gamers are fine with lists, they're okay with lists, and they're used to this, a lot of people that really can't be bothered to sort through 325 items to select the clothing they want to wear, were just not using it at all. They just wouldn't use it. People didn't change their costumes, they didn't level up properly because they found it so painful to use those lists. So we said, right, Fable 3, no lists. Imagine that Fable 1 and 2 was like DOS, where you had, you know, these scrolling things come up. Fable 3 is like Windows. Everything that we had in a 2D list is now in the world. So you've got this thing called your guild chambers. In your guild chambers, there is your butler, your manservant. He tries to do the best thing for you. His voice is actually the voice of John Cleese, one of the top people in Monty Python. He is incredibly funny. He's going to be suggesting the right things for you to wear, the right weapons for you to use. He's going to be commenting on some of your morally questionable decisions that you've made as king. And making sure that within these guild chambers there's a dressing room. That dressing room is like an old Victorian mahogany dressing room. As you play the game, your shelves and your clothes build up. You can walk up to it and say, I like the look of that, I want to wear that. You're not walking through a list, you're doing it visually. You've got an armory, and in that armory there is these racks of weapons that you have crafted, because remember in Fable 3 we've got the ability to craft weapons as you use them. Within your armory as well, there's also additional crafting that you can do, which we're not talking about just at the moment. You can do things like spell weaving, which we've already talked about within your armor. You've got your treasury. In your treasury you have a mountain of gold that you can use touch to rub gold over your naked body, if that's so, if it appeals to you. You've got your achievement room where visually you can see your achievements. That's all great. Also in your guild chambers we have the war room. In your war room is your map. The map in Fable 2 was rubbish. It was a horrible little round thing. The map in Fable 3 is a living, dynamic map, where you can see the world still going on. It's all the world simulation is still on there. You can watch your wife walk out of her house, walk into your best friend's house, spend 20 minutes there and walk out back again. You can see all these things. That makes you feel more kingly and more powerful. Okay, at the start of the game, and this is in fact this is a spoiler I'm giving you, and you know it's a spoiler warning. At the start of the game, you just think it's just a normal map. You just think, oh, it's just like a map I've seen in other games before. You'll be intrigued that there's this strange continent over the other side of the world, which we call Aurora. And then as we just like any other game mechanic, just within Fable or within other games, you measure how often you unleash a new feature. We are unlocking new features within that map. So one of the things that you can do, for example, you can see where all your friends are in the Fable map, because you're all linked together in a kind of social way. So I can see, oh, you're over in Millfields at the moment. I'll just pop in there and see what you're up to. So you've got that. You can do things once you become king with that map. Suddenly you realize that this map, you can zoom in, you can see this world, you can start adjusting things like, right, I want these people in this region to pay me lots of gold. And if they don't pay me lots of gold, I'm going to pass a judgment on these people. I'm going, you know, I want this place here. I want to tear down all those factories, and I want to plant trees again. So it's where you do a lot of your kingly sort of global things, or you can say, right, those people over there, I'm going to sneak up on them, and I'm going to see what's actually going on there, you know, visit in person. So there's a lot of this layered functionality which on this GUI map, which we are unlocking as the game goes on. It's definitely not RTS. It's all about how it makes you feel as a ruler, as a king. I think of it as at best, well, not best, but the most detailed, it's like Napoleon standing over his, you know, where all his troops are. You know, but it's not necessarily you're actually physically moving those armies, but you can make some judgments to do that.